Greetings fellow YouTubers, this is Nick's User and we're looking at Chakra. Now I haven't used Chakra before, but I believe it is a cousin, or shall I say at least a fork or something like that, of Arch Linux. I shouldn't really call it a fork, it's not intended as a fork. They do use the Arch repos, they use Pacman and all the like. It is a distribution which focuses on Qt and KDE technologies. You hear that? That's not QT, but Qt, even though it's spelt with a Q and a T. We're going to head over now to the Chakra OS website. So as you can see here, they're advertising that it's going to be the premier KDE experience. We see some Mac-like machines over here, which is kind of interesting. I wonder if they've just taken a screenshot and placed it over on there using some photo editing software. They reckon they're using a stable core with bleeding edge applications, so presumably using a pretty recent version of KDE with that half rolling release model. They reckon they provide a solid foundation, including the Linux kernel and GNU core utils and common libraries. In other words, basically the toolchain that's required, or the user land as some people like to say. They have said here that it's brought to you by a diverse and skilled community. So I'm going to be taking a look at this tonight, a bit of an exploration. It might not be tonight in your land, but it is tonight here. As you can see, it's 8:01 PM. I'm sorry anyway for the lack of presence on YouTube lately. I did have a sequel course that I had to attend recently. It was a workshop for 2 days, so that has taken a bit of time away. But anyway, let's move on. So we're going to take a look at the applications. They're divided up into several categories, which we're going to take a look at: development, education, graphics, internet, multimedia, office, settings, system, utilities. Now with the emphasis on QT, whatever you want to call it, let's call it Qt. With the emphasis on Qt and KDE, it's going to be interesting to see what applications they have here. Well, for example, a lot of you probably use LibreOffice. LibreOffice is pretty heavy going, admittedly, but a lot of you probably use LibreOffice for your spreadsheet development, for your database development potentially, or even word processing, that sort of thing, or maybe even doing presentations. So it'll be interesting to see, but however, let's not emphasize that, and let's take a look at some of these things. So we have DBUS Debugger, which is the Qt DBUS viewer. Let's take a look at that. So looks like we can see a little bit of how DBUS does things using its methods over here. I really don't know a lot about DBUS, except to say, well, I shouldn't say I don't know a lot about DBUS. I know a little bit about it. DBUS is basically a way for different processes to communicate to each other, and this presumably is explaining what's going on in DBUS at the moment. And we have the system bus. I really ought to do a little bit more research into that, and I suggest you do too. However, a good start is to roll on over to the Wikipedia page, which is, for tech stuff, pretty reliable, I find. So we'll just do a bit of DBUS action here. You'll find that DBUS is available on some other Unix-like platforms, such as FreeBSD, but you see here it's an inter-process control or inter-process communication method. So as I said, it's a way of processes to communicate with each other. So that's quite interesting that they've decided to include that application, but let's not dwell on it too much. I did say we'll have a look briefly and see what version. So we're expecting 5.5.1 to show up a fair bit here. Next on the menu, we have the icon viewer, which is Cuddlefish. Doesn't do too much, except it does show you a few of the icons here. I don't see a lot going on. It seems that you can actually copy a few things to clipboard. We can actually look at the different sizes of those and make it really, really tiny, which is kind of cool. I presume that some of these are SVGs, in fact. Scalable vector graphics don't suffer those images that are in SVG or scalable vector graphics don't suffer the deterioration that fixed resolution images do, because they are generated on the fly at the resolution required. In other words, it says the instructions for it say how to draw it or how to create it rather than what it is, which is really useful for line art and things like that. So we have the interface designer, which is QT. I shouldn't say QT, get out of the habit, Mr. Nix. Qt designer. Let's take a look at that. And it looks like here we can actually sit here and actually design our Qt based applications. Of course, you're probably going to have to write some code in the back end to see how they all work together. I don't suspect it's going to be that easy. I've got to get into this sometime, learn how to write some Qt applications. I do a bit of C++ and a bit of VBA here and there, but not Qt at the present. Moving right on. Explore and edit your Plasma themes. So it does what it says on the box, but not much more, I find. So you can take a look at the different themes here. And we've just gone through them. You can select them. You can even change the size, although it doesn't say anything about the size here. Change the size. Very cute, very pretty. It works like it says on the box, but it doesn't seem to do too much more. Next we have shows Qt documentation examples. That's actually Qt Assistant. So it can show you how help files and things like that are done. I'm not really sure how to use this application, but for some people it's going to be quite useful, I imagine, so they can write their help files, or learn how to anyway. Next on we have Qt Linguist, and it seems to be a translation tool. So you've got some application that you need translated. It could be quite helpful apparently. Let's have a look. It's an older version. It's using it probably is using Qt 4, presumably, but maybe not. You never know. It could be compiled against Qt 5. That's it for that. Let's move on to the next category. We have education. It's quite minimalist. We have the science category, and we have the virtual globe, which is somewhat akin to the Google application of a similar note. And you can see here, we can just take a bit of a look at the constellations in the background. We can zoom in a little bit. I was actually looking at home today. Home is Perth these days, used to be Brisbane. But anyway, and we can zoom in, but we can only zoom in to a certain degree. However, it does have the some of the important suburbs. We have Kwinana, we have Perth obviously, and Gosnells and Mandurah. Fantastic. So yeah. So that's pretty cool. Operates very similarly to the equivalent Google application. So that was it for education, funnily enough. And then in here in graphics we have quite a number of applications. We have 6 applications. We have digital painting application known as Critter. Give that a little tick. Seems that Critter's on Steam, funnily enough, which is kind of a curious place to have it. But it looks like we can do a little bit of line drawing and that type of thing. Let's go file new. Yeah, that'll do. Create something, and look at that. And that's very nice. Look at that, very sharp, nice. Do that. Look at that. Very sharp, very nice. I could see me using that sometime to do some basic drawing. No, we don't want to save that. Let's go back to graphics. We have the document viewer, Ocular. So what we'll do is we'll just find a we might, while I'm here, what we're going to do is take a man page and we'll convert it to PDF and have a look in Ocular. So let's have man ls, man-t to turn it into graph, ls, pipe, ps to PDF, and we'll put the hyphen in there, and then we'll say ls.pdf. Give that a little tick to do its thing. Now that's done. So what we'll do is we'll go into our Ocular application. We'll just minimize that. Let's move Ocular back to our first screen. One of the beautiful things about KDE is how flexible it is like that. Open ls.pdf, and we have a beautiful output of the ls document in Ocular. Very nice. GwenView, image viewer. So let's go home. Let's have a look at our pictures, and I did take a screenshot before. Let's have a look at that, and that's quite a pretty screenshot. So yeah, that works pretty well. Let's head into Digicam. So it's a photo management tool, a little bit unlike the other one since it's a proper management tool. It's going to have a database based on SQLite. What else can we do? We can use MySQL as well. SQLite I should have probably called it, but SQLite will do. We'll go next. This is a lot of options at the start. And here we go. Digicam. I'm just waiting for that to start properly. Here we go. And I don't really have anything in there, but let's just take something. I thought I was in here before and had a nice screenshot. Well, it should be showing that up, shouldn't it? Ah, it does. So it just took a little bit to load and probably throw it in the database. Pretty interesting. Pretty cool. So yeah, that's that. Graphics. Let's move on to Photo Viewer. There's a bit of too much of this photo stuff. I'm very happy with just having one photo application, not several, or a few. So let's have a look. Open, Nix user, pictures, and yeah, we can see that photo there, fine. Another photo application. That seems to me to be a little strange. You've got basically a photo viewer in GwenView. You've got a photo manager in Digicam, and then you also have this. A little surprising. No big hassle, but just a little surprising. And then we have the scale vector graphics program Carbon. Now we had this guy before, digital painting, so I presume that this one doesn't so much focus. Critter was not focusing so much on SVG. Let's just do new, finish, create, close. Let's have a look. Okay, let's save that as. What do we got? No. So that's just. It's not showing any signs of SVG capability there. Fine. Probably could be my ignorance. I'm not drawing pictures all day, but let's do new. Okay, fine. And let's just. Here. Oh, I don't really know how to stop it there, but that's. I suppose you could create a nice emblem or something for a YouTube channel if I use this application. So let's just save as, and I presume SVG is going to be one of the main ones. Yep. Coolies. So, and can we? Yep. Alright, we'll just leave that there. Oh, we probably should just take a look at the version anyway, just for interest. Version 2.9.11. Hey, I'd like to see in the comments if you guys are actually interested at all in the version numbers of these applications, or just keep it pretty high level. Just give me a hoy in the comments. That's it for graphics, I believe. We can go back and take a look at internet. You have the cloud storage manager. Let's configure that. Let's add Google Drive. Okay. Okay. So don't try to guess my password. Alright, fine, we'll allow it for now. Okay. Okay, is it gonna grab it? Refresh all. Just give that a moment. If this takes too long, the thing about it is that you're probably better off just going drive.google.com in your preferred browser. I mean, let's compete now with it. Let's go. Well, already logged in and all that sort of caper, and it goes straight in. So I'm not really sure that this is giving me the benefits that I thought it would, but fine, could be a work in progress. I don't know. Let's just try and throw an application on there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but let's no. File, no, edit, upload file, let's have a look, upload file, it's ls, see it, and it failed. Now I'll put my password details on before, so who knows, that doesn't seem to be working too well for me. Tell me if you guys have better fortunes with it. We have a print thing, let's not bother with that guy. Contact thing, we're not going to bother with that either. Oh, let's have a look, fine. I really don't know what's going on here, so what? I mean, to me this is sort of superfluous stuff. I prefer... Oh, that's not a good sign. We have the bug there. And it's the same story. So it's the same damn thing. And the same bug that keeps coming up as well. So that's kind of curious about these two. Download manager. This is the first time. Would you... Yeah, let's enable that. Let's do a new download. Let's find something for it to download. Let's find something for it to download. Let's go... let's download the program wget. wget. Let's just use google.com. It's giving me grief that it's not going where I want it to. I don't want to be searching. That's the one thing about search engines. You don't want to have to search on the search engine so much. You want it to produce relevant results quite quickly. So let's just go there straight away. I don't mind DuckDuckGo, but it seems to require a little bit more effort. So let's download, yeah. And let's just grab one of the latest versions. Let's just copy that link. Let's put it in there, and let's get started. Let's go, that's going nice and quickly. So for those of you who don't actually want to use wget, this could be a good way of doing it graphically. It seems to have the ability to pause and resume. Seems to have that capability, and it's done. Finito. Alright, so it works as advertised on the box. This is an RSS feed aggregator. I don't use RSS feeds very much, so I'm not going to review this too much, but you could use it there. For example, one of the podcasts I love to go to is Linux Voice. should take a look at that website. Very good. This is not a paid endorsement either. I just really like their podcast and I like their magazine, although I haven't subscribed for a little while. It is quite good. And let's read more. Let's go that. I don't know how this. I haven't done podcast. Sorry, I haven't done RSS feeds in a long time. Import feed. Yeah. Let's just save that link. We'll just throw it in there. Just give that a bit. How long is that taking? It's taking a little while. Let's just see if it has done it. All files. Can it do that? I don't know. Frankly, I'm confused. It could be just my ignorance again, but that seems to be taking forever. Let's minimize that and move on. IRC Client, the conversation. Pretty standard. Connect to Freenode. I suggest you do that every so often. Take a look at Freenode, take a look at some of the more popular channels around the place. Take a look at your favorite distros channel if they have one on Freenode or their own IRC server. You can see here it looks straight into Chakra, which is kind of cool. You can find all sorts of information. It's how I cut my teeth on GNU+Linux. It's through IRC and forums. We have the KMail email client. It's asking for KDE wallet. I have not supplied a password for this, but let's just see if it works. Let's go. Let's see how that goes. So let's go next. Next. Oh, okay. Fine. I was hoping to say finish. That's kind of annoying. I can try it again. It definitely is the... Well, that doesn't seem to be playing dice at all. So I usually have no dramas with Thunderbird doing that, which is why it's my preferred email application. What else have we got? I'm not going to look at that. I don't want to be doing any theme editing. Mirror check. I haven't seen this application before. Let's see what it gets up to. Seems pretty minimalist. So yeah, I've been listening to the Linux Voice podcast for quite some time, and they used to, the people who run Linux Voice used to operate out of a different, shall we say, more commercial magazine, a Linux magazine of some sort, and since they left, they've gone from strength to strength. So take a look at linuxvoice.com. This checking repository business is taking too long for my liking, and I don't think it's adding value. So let's move on. Network folder wizard. Let's have a look at that. Now this is interesting, because I would have thought that NFS should be one of the ones that it chooses. It's obviously going to allow Samba or SMB connections, but not NFS. So I'm not going to go any further. I run NFS. I support Unix file systems as far as I can. So yeah. No, I'm not going to use the PIM setting explorer. Oh, okay. It's saying a mirror is not synced. Fine. I'll get over that quite fine. So, let's have a look at the Civ editor. And what is this? What's this? Ah. Oh, Civ editor. Configure. Civ. What is Civ server? Let's find out what that is about. That's pretty strange looking application. Mail filtering language. So it looks like it's ability to search. Some sort of ability to search. Well, my suggestion, if you're curious about that sort of thing, go and take a look. But for me, I'm fine. Okay. I think we're getting to the last of it. What's this one? SSH ask pass. I'm used to doing all my SSH stuff via the command line, so this is sort of a little alien to me. That download manager is bothering me a little bit, so let's get rid of that. Let's kill it. Never really worked for that RSS feed, did it? And that add key business under here. I'm not going anywhere with that. I think we'll just move on from that. That's starting to get me a little down. Anyway, CupZilla. This is probably a bit of a highlight. Reminds me so much of Firefox. So much of Firefox. It's able to just sort of go onto YouTube and let's look at some random. I'll just go to Linux free on me. Yeah, and it's able to do all the good stuff like playing videos, just like this. But I think it uses. So that's working nicely. So it uses Qt. We're not using Mozilla Firefox exactly here. It performs reasonably well on the ACID 3 test. No, is it ACID test? ACID test. ACID 3 test, yes. That's the one I want. Performs pretty reasonably using WebKit. That should be actually smoother than that. Should be very, very smooth. But anyway, fine. Let's get out of here. I want to get out of here. Yeah, and if we do the HTML5 test, it performs reasonably well at that, but there are a few missing bits and bobs like DRM, and well, that's kind of a good thing in a way. Who wants DRM anyway? So, yep, 402 out of 555. I'd have to do a bit of a search on Google to find out how well Mozilla Firefox itself performs. But apparently this is using Qt and WebKit, but it has that sort of familiar Firefoxy look. I'm actually considering using this, to be honest, because to me, I like Qt. Not much of a GTK fan, not much of a GTK3 fan. You know, that's just me. I'm not saying they're bad or anything. It's just personal preferences. That's about it for the internet applications. So I thought it was kind of curious not to include Firefox. They're using CupZilla, which I hadn't really heard of before, which is kind of good. Don't need to always hear of things. We have K3B for disk burning. And it's one that we should all know and love about K3B, using the older development platform by the looks of it. But yeah, it's a nice application if you like doing your CDs and DVDs via GUI. On the other hand, prefer using CDrecord. You can compile CDrecord yourself. There are licensing issues apparently with CDrecord depending on whom you ask, but I still use it. Again, personal preferences. Firewire audio mixer. Wow, Let's just shut everything down for a minute. Not that we should be worrying about these things running, but let's just try that again. Thing on a distro like this, which is meant to be friendly, you know, really user friendly and that sort of thing, this sort of stuff just shouldn't happen, and people are gonna sort of reject it if they have to work hard on these sorts of distros. I mean, otherwise just use Arch. You know, that's what I'd say there. This Bommy, this is a funny little application. It's for playing video, and I found it played things alright. So open a file. What if it'll allow me to play this? Yeah. It's allowing me to play this one. Oh dear. That's fine. So that played all right. Make sure that's still working. Yes, it is. So Bommy's a funny one. That's not one that I'd heard of before, but it plays all right. We've got a music player here. Let's take a look at it. I don't have any music to share with you. Sorry about that. I'm going to put our password in. So yeah, you can use Jamendo, which is, I recommend Jamendo. It's got nice free music there. Take a look at that. Yeah. Ah, just wait a minute. There was a plugin. Let me just run that up again. There was a YouTube plugin. Multimedia, music player, Tomahawk. Give Tomahawk. One thing I like about this distribution is the theming. The theming is very attractive. It does remind me a little bit of Windows 10. A little bit. I'm not going to say it's a complete clone or something, but it does remind me a bit of it. Oh, we don't need that. Let's quit that. Yeah, let's quit that. So Tomahawk didn't run again. Let's try and get that to... Might have to bring up the good old console and see if grep Toma kill all Tomahawk. Let's see if it's there. No process found. Let's bring it up again. Some people might not like having to do those little things, killing processes and whatnot. Okay, let's have a look. YouTube. Let's do it. Oh, okay. And let's search. Presumably I can search here. Let's go. Or okay, Eurythmics then. I don't know how that YouTube plugin is meant to work. I'm kind of semi-hoping to see something about... Ah. Well, that's curious. You're not going to hear it, but... And I can't hear it either. Oh, here we go. Well, that worked very nicely. That's brilliant. Wow. And it's coming from YouTube. That's just incredible. Hopefully... Oh, we can just close that down now. I can still... Let's pause that. Well, looks like we're back to killing it. Won't listen to me in using common sense. I'll kill it on the command line. That was pretty good. I actually really liked how you could just play music just there. That was great. Hopefully YouTube is still getting paid ad money and all that good stuff. I don't know what this is all about. This is video for layout. Yeah. File. Yep, no. I'll have to learn a bit more about that sometime. A little video for Linux tool that we're looking at. Kdenlive. It's one of those editors for for video. Yeah, just do that. Next. Yep, it's an editor for video. Let's see, let's say KDE Live. They're still developing it, which is really good. It's using one of the recent KDE frameworks, which is good. Hopefully it's a little more stable than it used to be. Again, I don't use this. Usually I'd have to have a pretty complicated video for me to want to use it, but I have used it in the past in my videos from about 4 years ago, and it was pretty good. I had some stability issues, but we were able to save the project and continue on. Let's move on to Office. Now, Office is an interesting one. We've got the Caligra author. I'm not going to go into this, but some of the ones that might interest you. Let's have a look at the database creator. There's a new one. New import. Let's try and see if we can import project stored on a database server. I do have a database server, Postgres. It's going to be a remote server. Let's try this. R2. Yep, and test connection. Oh. So we're going to have an incompatible Postgres version, which means we're not going any further with this. That's a real shame. I was hoping to have a look at that, but it's not going to work for now, so fine. But you can create your own little databases and things like that in there. Moving on, the other one that I looked at was you can take a look at all these sort of Office applications for yourself, but one of them that was pretty good, you see there's a bit of duplication going on here. I hate seeing duplication in menus. I just can't stand it. There's not a lot that I hate, but I hate that, is duplication in menus. It belongs in one or it belongs in the other, not in both, not in several. We have the spreadsheet program, which we'll just use that template, and you can create some nice stuff. I was going to work on this. Actually, there's something I've got to ask you guys. If you can put in the comments, do you want to know the details of the application? I was actually working on this today, looking at all the details of the applications. If you want that, I can do it. It might be something I have to host on another website so that we can generate some income from doing it, because it does take quite a bit of time. But if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. But yeah, it was alright. One thing I found was I was going to use this Gemini. Let's give that a tick. So you can see here that we're not using LibreOffice, we're using Caligra. I'm going to create a new document, a new blank document. And that's playing nicely. Before I did the system update, it was crashing, but it's playing nicely now. So we can just yeah, so that works very nicely. I mean, that was a pretty simple example, but fine. So, yeah, what's this? Words. So, blank document. It's kind of like having two word processors from the same tool. I feel, again, it's one of these areas where I know you create one thing to do it really well, but I feel like they're doubling up here. And look at that. So maybe it really is the same application, by the way. But, oh, sorry, let's just go back to the Gemini. So it is the same application, but they're calling it a different name. This is careless. You don't want to confuse the user. I'm a long time GNU+Linux user, and I was confused by that. Same application, different name. We don't want to be doing that. They need to polish that up. Finally, I'm not going to go into settings, system. Again, some pretty common stuff there. One thing that was a bit different was this input methods tool, I noticed. Well, that didn't work very well, did it? So we're not going to bother with that. Okay, Kate, Arc, Clipper, you got the Clipper? I presume you guys have used... Oh, there it is, that's the input. Maybe I was wrong about that input thing. Let's have a look. Virtual keyboard. Oh, hiragana, katakana. Does anyone speak Japanese? Nihongo ga hanasemasen ka? Can't anyone speak Japanese? Can't, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, toggle virtual keyboard. That is not a pretty keyboard. That is not pretty at all. That is ugly. We're in 2016 and we're in a user-friendly distribution. That is not pretty. And I want to xkill it. Is xkill there to rescue? Yes it is. No, it's not working. That sucks big time. Let's try that again. And xkill is not going to get rid of that. So we're stuck with the PSE just stuff. What the hell is it? I don't even know what it is. Just let's get it out of my way. I can't even. Fine. Just toggle it again. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's not something I want. And this is not too bad though. You can just sort of copy and paste things and manage your clipboard. I tend to use the center key of the mouse, so I just like grab that and do that, you know, which is using the center key. I suggest you try that. So yeah, there is one last couple of things that I want to show you. KCalc is actually my favorite graphical calculator tool. It's now I'd like to expand that a little bit. The settings, let's go into science mode, and we'll configure it. You can make it look like the old one. There used to be a beautiful color that it used to use. It was like this in the old KDE 3.5.9 or 3.5.10. Let's apply that. It was a beautiful looking calculator. I know that doesn't look like much to you guys, but to me, simplicity is beautiful. So yeah. Finally, we're getting to the closing bits. We have a screenshot utility. I took a screenshot before. You can press the print screen, it'll bring it up. Okay, just like that. You can see the menu that was there before, but it fades out, unfortunately. Yeah, it's pretty good, that one. No dramas with it, I've used it. Utilities. One of the last things I wanted to bring up was this USB key writer. Now this could replace DD for you. If you can just put an image in here, tell it which drive you want to install it to, and just write. Again, this is the same really as going DD input file equals whatever.iso, output file equals /device/SDE, block size equals 1 meg or 4 meg if you're feeling game. So yeah, look, overall it was pretty attractive. We can have a look at the wallpapers. It seems to have some nice wallpapers here. Yeah, it's not bad, you know, and it's KDE, really nice KDE looks. I guess we can add a widget or two. Let's add that clock. I love that clock. It's way better than the original, but it's not. It's got that funny theming to it, so perhaps not. But yeah, it's a nice distribution. You can just change the theming, by the way, in the back end if you really want to. Some issues, I say, with the menu. Duplicates in the menu. Some applications not working properly, like that word processor under Caligra. It's it just has a few rough edges around it. They reckon it's a stable core, which I can't disagree with. It seems to be not crashing. The core applications themselves are not crashing and giving me dramas, but as far as the desktop is concerned, there would be a little bit of a drama using this. The desktop itself is actually very, very stable, but the applications that are installed on top of it, I have a reservation about. So for example, if I were using this, I'd probably install LibreOffice. I probably would install Firefox, but keep it as a backup to CupZilla, because CupZilla behaved actually exceedingly well. So there are some pluses and minuses here. I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10. I'm pretty happy with it. I've used it for the best part of half a day, but there are some rough edges. I'm willing to put up with rough edges, but some users won't. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry, so sorry about the delay. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Please give me comments and feedback below. The only way we can improve this channel is together. I can kind of do research on YouTube and find out how to do videos better, but really I like to do it organic, and I think that requires your input. Anyway, have a good day, have a good night, or whatever you're having, and we'll see you next time with another Nix user video for all the Nix users, YouTubers out there. Catch you guys.